What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the SSFL channel. I'm Chuck, host. We have a good video for you today. We're going to go over second-year NFL breakout players for the 2021 NFL season. This is by yours truly. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into the video and give you guys our first player. CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver, Dallas. Lamb is poised for a monster season. He's getting back his partner in crime, Dak Prescott, for the 2021 season. In those 5 games where Prescott was under center, Lamb averaged 8 targets, 5.8 receptions, and a very viable 86.6 yards per game. Perhaps the only thing that's working against Lamb this year would be the team he faces to start the Cowboys' regular season. Steelers, Chargers, Bucks, followed by the Eagles. However, 2 out of the first 4 Cowboys games are slated for prime time. And during the 2021 season, CeeDee Lamb was averaging a respectable 5.4 receptions and 7.6 targets in those primetime games. So look for CeeDee to get off to a hot start in 2021, and hopefully he'll never look back. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, Minnesota. Now, some people may think that little JJ doesn't belong on this list because their argument is that his breakout already happened last year when he had 1,400 yards as a rookie. But I'm here to tell you that the best is yet to come. He hasn't even scratched the surface yet. Jefferson wasn't even featured in the Vikings offense consistently until week 3 of the 2020 regular season. And the NFL is expected to add 1 more regular season game to the 2021 schedule, which will only end up benefiting little JJ. During the second half of the 2021 season, in 8 games, Jefferson averaged 10 targets, 6.5 receptions, and 97 yards per game. Currently being drafted as a number 8 wide receiver off the board, Jefferson should give back that value in fantasy players that take a chance on drafting him. He has established a good rapport with Kirk Cousins already and should have plenty of opportunities to break all Randy Moss's regular season records for years to come. Chase Claypool, wide receiver, Pittsburgh. Last year, during every regular season game, it always seemed as if Chase Claypool was one step from having a huge night. Standing at 6'4" and weighing in at 238 pounds, Chase has the build of a true wide receiver 1. During the last 11 games of the year, including the playoff game versus the Browns, Claypool averaged 8.2 targets, 4.5 receptions, and 54 yards receiving. He also scored 6 touchdowns in a span of those 11 games. His 9 TDs were very impressive for a rookie during the 2021 season, and he managed to average 8.2 targets, 4.5 receptions, and 62 yards versus AFC North opponents on the year in 2020. He also had 6 touchdowns in those games versus AFC North opponents, and if Claypool can get off to a hot start versus non-AFC North opponents to start the season in 2021, anyone who takes a shot as a low ADP this year will be immensely rewarded. Getting into the running backs here, DeAndre Swift, running back, Detroit. Coming off a crazy 2021 season where COVID was present, Swift was not able to have a very impressive rookie campaign. The season was up for grabs early in the year, and as a result, there were no rookie or training minicamps. Coming into the 2021 season, the Lions have completely revamped their team. They added a new coaching staff and have a completely different group of position players. Goff, Perriman, Williams, to name a few. Swift should be given plenty of opportunities to show this new coaching staff what he has coming into the 2021 season. And he will have plenty of additional support from newly drafted first-round pick Penei Sewell from Oregon. Finally, former Rams quarterback Jared Goff, who is now Detroit's starting quarterback, will be looking for Swift to bail him out a ton this season. Goff is not the greatest long ball passer, is not very efficient under pressure, and will no longer have guys like Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods to get the ball out quickly. Currently sitting at RB16 and holding a third-round venture, Swift holds decent value for fantasy players this season. Look for him to take on the role of Kupp and Woods for Goff and become one of his favorite short field targets in the Lions' new passing offense. Antonio Gibson, Washington. Gibson is an absolute stud, plain and simple. He averaged a 4.7 yards per carry last season and saw a fair 44 targets in the receiving game. He was drafted out of Memphis as a wide receiver where he averaged 17.9 yards per catch and was converted to a running back during his rookie season with Washington. At the young age of just 22 years old, Gibson showed plenty of flashes of excellence and time and time again during his rookie campaign. He seemed to do very well against NFC East opponents last season, including 2 monster games versus Dallas, where he had over 20 carries, 100 yards on the ground, and at least 1 touchdown. During the final 9 games of the season in 2020, Gibson had 10 or more carries in every game, minus week 12 where he went out early due to injury. The scary thing about Gibson is that he was not utilized in much of the receiving game last season as fantasy managers hoped for. However, already an established college wide receiver, Gibson should have no issues picking that part up of his game in 2021. He is currently being drafted as a number 11 running back off the board and holds a third-round bargain. This is an absolute value, and I would be more than happy taking Gibson as my RB1, let alone my RB2, which is currently where he's being drafted. Jonathan Taylor, running back, Indianapolis. Just like Justin Jefferson, Taylor was able to have a good rookie campaign. Most people might think he don't belong on this list either. He was an absolute beast coming out of Wisconsin, where he averaged 2,000 rushing yards and 16 rushing touchdowns per year. During his NFL rookie season, Taylor averaged a robust 5 yards per carry and managed to eclipse 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns on the ground. During his final 7 games, including the AFC wildcard game versus Buffalo, Johnny T was averaging 20 rush attempts, 117 yards, and over 5 yards per carry, with at least 1 touchdown. At just the age of 22 years old, Taylor has already exceeded expectations that were tied to his second-round draft capital. He should be approached as a high-floor, high-ceiling player in all fantasy drafts. Taylor holds a first-round venture, and he is currently projected as the RB6, but he should have enough volume to live up to the hype and have a stellar 2021 season. Well, that sums this list up, guys, for today. These are just a few different examples of players who are put in the right situation to succeed in their NFL second season. This projection for their breakout is based on their previous statistics and video evidence. And as long as their role remains steady and they remain healthy, these particular players will hold significant value in fantasy drafts. If you do not take a chance on at least one of these players each year, you will never find out if this theory is correct on second-year breakout players, and you aren't going to experience the potential that they can give your team and the advantage that they give your team. Thank you for watching this video, everyone. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Chuck, and this has been second-year fantasy football breakouts. Have a good day.